What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Fuji 50-230. I've had this lens for about 2 months now. The best picture I've seen on Instagram is probably this. It's by a YouTuber. I watched his video where he took it. So this is a crop sensor camera. I'm using this on the XS10. So we're going to be multiplying that times 1.5 to get a full frame equivalent of 75 to 345. So I'm going to show some of my personal photos, but here's some of just the generic photos that are the top on Instagram. A lot of these are like overly sharpened, but you can see in some of these. Let's find something with the background. The background is not super smooth. It's a sharp lens, but the background has some elements of like just sharpening back there. It's not totally smooth. And you know, to get a photo like that with a blurry background, you're gonna have to be kind of far away. This one's pretty good. I don't really like the way a long zoom lens like this really flattens the image and compresses it. Just for portraits, I think like, you know, an 85mm would be better for a portrait. But yeah, there's some really good ones in here. It handles light pretty good. We're gonna go over to my page here, and the first photo that I posted with this lens is going to be from January 19th. It's these photos of the ducks here. So I did a lot of, there's one that shows the moon pretty good, how it would focus on the moon. That kind of gives you an idea of how long this lens is. But I did a lot of backlit type photos with this, and I felt like it was really good at those, like exposing for the sky and just giving like a silhouette of something. It's pretty sharp. It's a pretty sharp lens. It's not the sharpest Fuji lens. I think the XF lenses are going to be sharper. This is the XC. It's the cheapest lens. I got this thing for under $200. But you can see this duck. I'm not super close to the duck. You can kind of see me in the reflection of its eye, but it's pretty sharp. So that's the first photo. Then we've got some more just photos of trees and stuff like that. The one thing is, I've had this lens basically glued to my camera since January, and I haven't posted that many photos. I feel like I've taken a lot of photos, but I've just deleted most of them. So I'm thinking about replacing this lens with a prime. There's not a good long telephoto prime from Fuji, but there is a Viltrox 85mm I think it's a 1.8, but it's more like a 1.6 when people review it and they show how large this lens is and how much light it actually lets in. Let's see. So these are all with the Fuji 50-230. It's really about at 345mm because I have them at 200, and you know, with that 1.5 times crop, so you can see it handles light pretty good. The background does look really smooth on this. I kind of like that cropped in, like really cropped in like that. So it is a really good lens for the price. One thing that I like about this lens that I'm not going to get if I switch to a prime for telephoto photos is I'm not going to get that image stabilization in the lens, and that image stabilization works well with the XS10's IBIS. They work together. Some reviewers will say that it's just as good with a lens without stabilization, but it's really not. They really do work together. There's another picture of the moon. I'll go back to that in a second to kind of show the sharpness of this lens on something that far away. Those are not taken with that. That's with the Midicon 35mm. This is taken with that lens, and it was dark. You know, it's hard to see those birds. These were taken with the 50-230. That was not. This was. Anything with birds is basically on this page is taken with that lens. That is not. This is. So that guy was just kind of sliding, and she caught me here watching him. I like that you can just kind of drive around and shoot out your window, park somewhere and shoot out the window in the park with this lens, because it's just so long. You don't have to walk around and get closer to something and farther away. But that Viltrox 85 is going to be really good for that kind of thing as well. Let's see, those were all with the fisheye lens. This is a good example of the Fuji 50-230. It's sharp in certain places. I think the focus is like on one of these branches. It's not really on the bird. But you can kind of see what this lens will do. Just a quick shooting at a bird. It's sharp and it's good from far away. It's good for Instagram. But when you really zoom in, it is a little bit, it missed focus here. And you know, there are definitely imperfections if you were to like print this big or something like that. But just looking at it on Instagram, it looks pretty good. That bird flew away, and this bird immediately flew in his spot or her spot. I don't know the gender of the bird. And this is also taken with that Fuji 50-230. I like this because there's a soccer ball right behind the no trespassing sign. So somebody's been playing on there. That is not taken with it. So these are actually taken with the Midicon 35mm f.95 or f0.95, I think it is. So right there, that one and this, these were taken with the 50-230. It's just like a trash can, but that kind of shows you what it does. It's a decent lens, but I think I'm going to sell it just because it's not really that sharp. That is taken with it. It's kind of soft, and you know, I've thought about getting the 70-300 from Fuji with the teleconverter. Then you've got a really long lens that's still pretty compact. That's one thing I do like about that lens, is it's very compact for such a long lens. These were taken with it, and that's a phone photo. Let's see, and then there might not be anything else. Oh yeah, this might be, okay, this one and the one above it. So this is the 50-230. And again, these are the only pictures I've posted with this lens. And I've had it since January for, 2 months. So I've taken a lot of photos that I just have not been interested in posting at all. Just because they're okay, but they're not, they don't have character. Like some of these lenses have a lot of character. And technically, this can be a good lens for capturing something like a soccer game, your kid's soccer game or something, but it doesn't have a lot of character compared to some of the other Fuji lenses. This one is okay. If you got red in the image, in the middle of the image, it pops so much on Fuji compared to all the other colors, which are kind of muted. It's probably like pro negative high or something on the film simulation on this, and yeah, that's pretty sharp, decently sharp, and decent fall off to a blurry background. So yeah, that's the Fuji 50-230. Oh, okay, there's one more. This guy knelt on one knee for like 3 hours, and that dog, the one on the ground, it barked constantly, and they just didn't do anything about it. I was skating at the skate park here, and they literally stayed in that same position for several hours, and I was surprised. I couldn't do that. I couldn't bend on my knee like that for that many hours. And the dog just constantly barked. I would have just gotten up and left and gotten annoyed by that, because the dog's obviously scared of the skate park. But they didn't do that. They just stuck it out. So these are all some fisheye photos up there, so that's it. that is it on the 50 to 230. This one is with that lens, and it actually does seem to have some character. It almost looks like a film photo, but yeah, that most of them are technically okay, but they don't have really the look that I'm looking for. So I'm probably going to be selling this lens. It'd be great for video. I think both the XC 15 to 45 and the XC 50 to 230 would be great for video because of that image stabilization. It's got good image stabilization. But for photo, it just doesn't have enough character. So that's my opinion on the Fuji 50 to 230. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you like this kind of content and you're watching this on YouTube, then hit that subscribe button. I might put it on Instagram, not sure yet. But thanks for watching. Subscribe, like this video. Have a good day.